It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here answering your financial questions. If you've got one, go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get started. It's Jane from Virginia.
So I have a question that I think everybody else asks if they can retire early. I'm about to turn 54 next month, and over the past few years, I've had a medical condition that's slowly making it harder to work and live an active lifestyle.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That stinks.
Sure, yeah. So I've been to many doctors, and the conditions are getting worse without a solid diagnosis and treatment. So I'm trying to figure out if I can retire early instead of, trying to make it all the way to 60 or 62, if I could last another year or two and then retire maybe in the next year or so. Not sure.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're going to tell us a little bit more than just you're turning 54 next month.
Right.
Are you married, partnered, parenting? What are you doing?
I'm partnered. I don't have any children, so except for potentially taking care of my parents as they get older.
How old are your parents?
My parents are in their 70s and 60s, late 60s. However, one was recently diagnosed with cancer, so I'm helping that situation as well. But,
and you're nearby them, so that helps.
I am nearby. I'm about an hour or so away, but that's almost a lifetime in DC traffic.
Oh, isn't it just? You're so right. So Jane, first of all, do you live with your partner, or you have separate dwellings?
We have separate dwellings, but we pretty much live almost together all the time anyway.
Do you think, in other words, when I'm looking at these numbers, should we include partners' money or cohabitation, or what do you think is the likely scenario going forward?
The likely scenario is that if I, do retire, that we would either live in one of my homes or buy a home together, and live in that home, and then rent out the other condo that she's currently dwelling in. Okay,
got it. And is she older, younger, same age-ish?
She says she's younger, but it's only about 9 months.
You know what? Stop that. This is just silliness. Okay. Jane's girlfriend, calm down. Okay. So let's tell me a little bit about the house. So you live in a condo now yourself? Tell us about your real estate.
Sure. I live in a single family home. It's my primary residence, and then I have a second home that's more of a vacation home that I try to get to on the weekends.
Okay.
That's about an hour and a half away.
How much is the primary worth?
Currently, if I were to sell it today to some people that want to tear down homes and rebuild them again, about 1.2.
Is there a mortgage that's outstanding still on it?
It's about $500K at 2.75.
Oh, gosh. Okay. What about the vacation home?
The vacation home is worth about the same amount. It's also got a mortgage on it for about $503 at 2.875.
Why don't you just negotiate everyone's mortgage rates? You're amazing. Is that it for the real estate?
That's it for the real estate.
Okay. So you're working full time right now. How much do you earn?
I earn about a little over $280K annually, and then I get a variable bonus that's between 25% to 30%.
Okay. You're putting money into a retirement account. So tell us about what you've saved so far.
I've been working pretty hard to try to combine my past 401ks. So right now in my 401k, about $705K.
Okay.
Got a IRA that I've rolled over. That's about $827. And then I've just got a small Roth because I haven't been able to contribute that much once I made the mistake of opening an IRA. So, and that's at 12K.
Okay. Don't worry. No big mistakes being made here. Do you have a brokerage account as well?
Yes. And that's about at 265 right now.
Okay. Money in the bank. Safe, boring money.
About 140.
Any other asset that we have not accounted for right now?
No, not that I can recall.
You're not, this is not a deposition, okay? Calm down.
I know, exactly.
When you look at your spending, what are you spending? Pretend that we're just going to keep your single family home and the second vacation home. What's your spending on a monthly basis look like?
My spending varies depending on just whatever comes up in house payments, but pretty much I budget around 12K.
Okay. You're not entitled to a pension, or are you? I didn't ask you that.
I had a pension, but that was one of the things I rolled over to manage myself.
Okay. So you got $1.5 million that hasn't been taxed yet, right? In terms of 401k IRA rollover. And then you've got a Roth, and you got a couple $100,000 in your brokerage and $140,000 that is in the bank. So if you were to retire next year at age 55, would your expenses go down at all? Probably not, right? We have to still do our 12K a month. Or is it fair that we would say that partner would either move into your house, you'd move into her house, or whatever? Like, what would happen at that point? So what can we count on for stream of income going forward?
We would move in together, live in the same dwelling. So we would probably either sell both my homes or move into one of my homes.
Okay.
I think the former is preferable, just so we could have a place together that we can start. And then
by the way, I just want you to know, I just want to say for everybody listening, I'm going on the record as saying that when I met my girlfriend, now wife, I did that total lesbian thing. Like, we've known each other for 3 minutes. Can I move in? And I did. And so it took a big renovation to kind of be like, okay, this is actually my apartment. It's not Jackie's. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So are you saying, though, that if I'm looking ahead and we were to sell both of these, I mean, if we sold your single family, would you like to keep the vacation home?
I think we were trying to find a place that could check all the boxes and still have that water lifestyle, but still be in an area that is accessible to, the city and restaurants and fun things to do. So some of the water properties that are decent around this area are kind of really far out there. So.
Yeah. So if I were to assume that you sold both of these places and you bought something brand new together and you had $700,000 come out of each of these in equity. I mean, I know there's going to be some taxes, but just stay with me for a second. That you'd have, let's say it's $1.2 million cash out after taxes. Okay. Would you need to spend that exact same amount of money to get into a place that you'd want to live in?
Yes.
Okay. So I can't count on having that extra money as available to me. All I could count on is that your expenses might go down because we have another person contributing.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. We'll get back to Jane in just a minute. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. We are here trying to help you navigate your financial journey. We're like Waze for your money. We're going to give you all different kinds of routes, and together, maybe we'll figure out which one of those routes is best for you. If you'd like to get in touch with us, all you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. JillOnMoney.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. When you click it, that's the email we receive, and if you'd like to join us on the air live, check the box, and Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Comes out every Friday, a wonderful way to get ready for this weekend broadcast. Right now, let's get back to Jane from Virginia.
Retirement is, I don't necessarily want to do, nothing. What I'd like to do is potentially consider work as just a plain old engineer where I'm not in a stressful situation, a stressful job, and having to present in front of people. So I was thinking, for a different career, perhaps an AI, ML engineer that would take me to a third or half of what my salary is now.
Okay, let's do that.
A conservative amount.
Let's look at that then. Let's say that as of next year, I mean, maybe it's not even next year, maybe it's next month. Okay, so as of next month, instead of making 300-something thousand, you think you could find something comfortably, like you're an engineer, the market, 150 grand a year?
Yes.
That's easy for you, right? Because you're an engineer,
right.
You know your stuff. Okay. So if that were the case, then I'm not afraid, as long as you can keep working a little bit just to, because I don't know what your medical condition, I don't know if this means that you're going to have more expenses in terms of care and things like that. But let's just looking at the numbers. If you could work and basically mostly cover your expenses at 150 grand a year, you're not quite there yet, but you could close. And one thing that might be interesting is if you were to do a job where you would make 150 grand, do you think you'd be more of a consultant or do you think you'd be an employee?
Probably first as an employee.
I think, given everything you've said and having a medical condition where I just wrote this down verbatim. You said, I have a medical condition which makes it harder to work in your current job. That to me is like, just stop right there. We're going to make the numbers work for you. So they're going to work for you. They're going to work for you. Okay. What you may not be able to do is save as much money in the next phase of your career, but so what? Who cares? It doesn't really matter. You got your $1.5 million. You are going to hopefully be living with your girlfriend and having a little bit of a lower expense for yourself. Because even at 12 grand a month, if she's kicking in, I don't know, $3,000-$4,000 that, towards living, et cetera, great. And then we know that you have 150 grand a year coming in work-wise. I'm not even including what she has. Then I think this all works just fine for you. I don't think that you should be thinking, how can I stay in this job as long? I mean, if you didn't say like it's harder to work, if you just say I don't like it, that would be one thing. I might be like, buck it up, maybe a couple of years more and you're done. And, but that's not what you're saying. Harder to work in this job is something I pay attention to. And I think you should too. I think that you're actually in very good shape. And I would suggest that if you have a condition like you do, and if you have parents who are aging, this is a great time to really think about your living situation in a more sober way. And what I mean by that is there are a lot of things when you say like check the box. Checking the box may be, we should move closer to my parents because we're going to have to take care of my parents. Or if she's like, no, my parents or whatever, but all I can tell you is that as they get older, as having, all of my friends who have parents in their 80s right now, the pull and the needs are going to only get bigger and bigger. And I think you should just factor that into your living situation as well. So did you know, because you're an engineer, you're a math head, you know that you're okay, right?
I think if I took the other job, a lower, paying job, I would be okay. I was just trying to figure out if I could not work at all. Just
okay. So then let's do that.
Not have that worry.
Okay. Let's say you wanted to not work at all. Okay. So you'd stay for a year. You'd see if your company allows for the rule of 55, where you can access that 700 grand that's in that 401k. Mm-hmm. And maybe what I might do is the money that's in your 401k right now, is, you said 705. It's pre-tax. You also have a separate IRA rollover account of 827,000, right?
Yes.
I think what I might do is, if you really want the option to stop working at age 55, I would take my IRA rollover of 827 and I would roll it into my 401k that I'm in right now. So that in your 401k, there would be $1.5 million. That would allow you to tap that money and have it in one place and maybe keep it there. It consolidates things. It just makes your life a little bit easier. Then what I would do is, if you're allowed to, you have to check with your employer. If you can invoke the rule of 55, I'm 55 and I am retiring from this company, I can now pull money out of my retirement account early, 5.5 years early, right? Because I'm 55. So you start pulling the money out, and you could essentially pull that money out and live on that. It's going to freak you out. And
Yes,
absolutely
it
freak
does.
you out. Okay. You will, if you have no other income, you will start to spend that money down. Now, I don't know if this medical condition means you have a life expectancy that's curtailed. But, if you're going to spend 12 grand a month without any other income, you're going to blow through this $1.5 million. You can tell, you just do the math, right? Just very easily, right. You're done, right? So you can do that if you make different decisions. If you say, well, what we're going to do is, I'm not going to make money. Maybe I wouldn't make 150 grand a year, but maybe I could make 50 grand a year. I'm just putting it out there. It's money because we now have to pay for your health insurance. We're going to sell both of our homes. You're going to sell both of your homes. You're not going to spend all. You need some of that money. We need that money to actually work for you. So you can't live in the same kind of house. You can't spend the $1.2 million. Or you might say, we're going to stay in the primary and we're going to sell the vacation home. And I'm going to take that 700 grand and I'm going to pop it into my brokerage account. And now I've got $1 million in my brokerage account. And now I can build on that and I don't have to touch that for a while. So, I think there's different things to do. And you have to have a real conversation with your partner about, hey, what can you really contribute? In some respects, what I think, Jane, is that I think if you really say, I cannot do this anymore, then this is a much bigger conversation that maybe is best to have with a financial planner, with a certified financial planner, a fiduciary who can really map out what your options are. If you're going to be able to work for 150 grand a year, it's easy. Fine, do it. If it's, I want to stop working, I think that you're in a place where you have to have a conversation with your partner about, are we really combining our finances? And that's, of course, now I'm into relationship counseling. Mark,
Exactly.
Did you notice the silence that went there? Did you hear that silence? I heard it. It was deafening. Tell me that, please. Can't you just tell me that the partner's really rich?
No, she does really well though. So she saves and I could always get on her insurance policy at work, and she wants to work forever. So,
oh, good. So get married and get on that policy and stop messing around with me. Stop it. Look, that's what I mean, that this is a larger conversation. And also, by the way, if she lives in a place where you say, I'm selling my place 2 places, I'm taking my money, I'm putting it into the brokerage account, both of them. And now you're talking about, you got $1.5 million in brokerage, $1.5 million in a retirement account. You're able to pull that money out of the retirement account over the next 15, 20 years, and it'll be done. That's fine. And so be it. That's it. And you're done. And you're living in her house. And now your expenses are not 12 grand a month or 8 grand a month for you, or whatever it is. Put this plan in place and look at it. I think that you are definitely a person or a couple that could really benefit from doing some scenario planning with a fiduciary. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. Let's talk to Christine, who joins us from the Ocean State, Rhode Island. Hello, Christine. How are you? What can we do for you?
Good morning. How are you? Thank you so much for taking my call today. I really appreciate it.
Of course. So what's going on?
I would like to retire a year from this coming September. I'll be 65. I just want to run my numbers by you and make sure that I'm okay.
You are working full time?
I am working full time.
How much do you earn right now?
I earn $157,000.
Okay. Are you married, single?
I am
partnered?
recently widowed.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Christine, when you look at retirement in a year, will you be entitled to any income? I mean, you'll have your, I guess your, if your husband was old enough, maybe his Social Security, will you be entitled to a pension?
I will not be entitled to a pension.
His Social Security, though, you have a
yes, his Social Security, what I would be able to collect at 65, I think it's around $2,000 a month.
Oh, okay. That's a good number. Do you have a bunch of money that you have saved in anticipation of this retirement?
Yes, I do.
Tell me a little bit about what you've saved.
Okay. I have 1.8 million, but it's all pre-tax money. Unfortunately, I did not start Roth soon enough.
You know what, though? I mean, unfortunately, yes, but what are you going to do? We were of an age where everything was pre-tax. And, you know, a lot of places didn't even have the Roth for a few years. So, but that's a huge amount of money, which is good. Did your husband also have retirement accounts?
That amount includes
his.
300, right, his.
Okay, got it.
I inherited $350,000 in his IRA.
Got it. Okay, so 1.8 million total. Anything else that you have in savings?
Savings, I have 280,000 in savings.
280, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Any brokerage account, like any investment account that's not a retirement account?
No.
Okay. How about your house?
My house is fully paid for. I would say it's worth around $450,000.
Would you like to stay in it?
Yes.
Okay. And you have kids, grown kids?
I have one grown daughter, yes.
Okay. Is she launched?
She is launched. I have 2 grandchildren. I do like to, help out now and again.
Okay. But nothing ongoing. It's not like you're saying like, oh, I have to pay for their tuition.
Well, right now they're in private school and I am helping pay for their tuition.
Oh, look at that. How I intuited that.
Yes, you did.
So private school, how much are you helping out?
$10,000 a year.
Okay. How long do you think that will continue for?
That will continue 5 or 6 years.
Do you have any other obligations? Anyone else that you feel like, okay, got the 2 grandkids. It's 10 grand total or 10 grand each? I should have asked that.
10 grand total.
Okay. Anyone else you have to take care of?
No.
Okay. Just you. We're going to get to you. There's nothing else that I should know about. You're not going to throw a rental property on me. There's no other big asset that we should know about, right?
No, there's not. The only other thing I'll mention is, both of my parents are still alive. They're in their 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. My dad's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but I do anticipate at some point it's likely that I will come into some money, probably between $300,000 and $500,000.
Okay. All right. We won't count on it right now because you never know how much people have to spend on care, but I get it. How about the amount of money you think you spend right now? Forget about the $10,000 a year for a second. Just like Christine's great life that begins in a year, what do you spend?
So I spend around 5, but I'm wanting to plan on 7 to see what that looks like.
Okay. That seems fine to me. So from your age 65 to your age 70, you will have your husband's Social Security. And then do you happen to know what your Social Security benefit would be at your age 70?
$4,100.
$4,100. Okay. So what we would think about is you have the $2,000 a month that's coming in right now. I guess you'll just bank that. And what are you doing in terms of the money you're earning right now? Are you still putting it all into pre-tax retirement, or are you putting it into Roth right now?
I'm putting it into Roth.
Okay. So how much is in Roth right now?
About 100,000.
So of that 1.8, it's 100,000 is Roth, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. So let's pretend it's a year from now. You're done working. Yay, goodbye. Okay. So then what you would likely do is start to pull money out of that pre-tax account, right?
That was my plan.
Right. Okay. So because you have 2,000 from Social Security, you'll say to yourself, like, okay, well, you can just set it up so you can have $5,000 a month come to you, or maybe $6,000 a month, just so we can account for taxes. Maybe even I would consider, if you're okay with it, pulling a little bit more out so that we can start to kind of defuse that big tax bomb that's looming.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Great. Okay. So look, you're single, you're in the 24% tax bracket. So maybe we would just consider the 24% bracket to be where we'd want you to stay. And that would mean that when you retire in a year, you could pull up to about $195,000 a year out of less the 25. So 170,000, about $170,000 from that pre-tax account, pay the tax. Sometimes they'll withhold it for you, pay the tax that's due. And then you have that money to live on. And you can do that from your age 65 to 70. And then you would do the same thing, but you might reduce it a little bit. We'll have to see where taxes are once you start claiming your Social Security, right? Because your Social Security payment is going to go up when you claim it at your age 70. So that's pretty great. I think that there's a combination here of, look, the reality is the money is where it is, right? We're not going back and, converting it or anything. I wouldn't go into like converting the money. You're listening to Jill on Money.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here trying to help you make better, sometimes just less bad financial decisions. Right now, let's get back to Christine from Rhode Island. You have a nice chunk of savings. You will be newly retired. You're going to make sure you want to stay liquid. I think you can get a lot of money out of that account. If you're from, 70 to 75, you'll pull some more money out. Right? You'll be able to get the money out even after you claim Social Security. You'll just want to stay within probably the 24% bracket. And, if at that time it's like, oh my God, Jill, I have so much money, I don't know what to do. Yeah, okay, maybe when you're 75, we'll take some of that money and we would convert it. We'll see. But I don't know. I'm not in a hurry to do all the conversion right now. I think you're fine where you are. I think it's a great You've done a terrific job. You and your husband did a great job of saving. You are able to save to actually help out the kids and the grandkids. So that's kind of amazing. And, I don't know, how much money did your husband make in his career?
My husband was significantly older than me. So he was retired for quite a while. So
okay.
Probably about, 80,000.
But so I just want to point out to everyone listening, like how much money you can accumulate when you start and you stick to it. Because I lived in Rhode Island, so I know that the state has high taxes, and it may not be like the same cost of living as, say, Boston, but it ain't cheap. So it's an incredible story where you have somebody who's making, or a couple that's been making, good money, not over the top money, who's able to save $2 million, not including your house. It's incredible. So give everybody the key to success, Christine. What was it that got you there?
You said it. You have to start it early. You have to, look at it as paying yourself, and you have to be consistent.
The consistency.
I often try to say to people, everybody thinks $1 million is like, oh, I could never save $1 million. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're there. And that's the most amazing thing about it. So, Christine, just in terms of your own planning, do you have your own estate? Have you shifted some of the documents for your will and your power of attorney and your healthcare proxy now?
Yes, that's all taken care of.
And is there anything else that you want to ask us?
I think I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
If I take that money out, should I open a brokerage account and put some money in there?
Yeah, maybe. I think that I really think that it might be important just to sort of see where you are with savings and where you stand. And maybe you open a brokerage account. Where is your retirement account held?
Right now, I have an account at Fidelity and one with Empower.
Okay. So maybe I would go to Fidelity and I would say, I'm going to take my account from my retirement account. I'll roll it into a Fidelity IRA rollover. And then maybe I would even take some of the money from savings, just see if that's piling up very quickly. Maybe you take like 80 grand or something or 100 grand out and you start a plain old Fidelity brokerage account. Then the money that you take out of the retirement account that you don't need, you add it to that account. And it's just a boring, like really boring, plain vanilla, some exchange traded funds or some mutual funds, little stock, little bond, maybe a little commodity, go to sleep at night and let that thing build up.
Okay, that sounds great. So asset allocation. So I was thinking of using index funds.
Yep.
Do you think like 40-60 is good? 40
When you
stock?
say 40, which 40 are we talking about? Are you saying 40 stock, 60 bond, or the other way around?
40 stock, 60 bond.
You could go 50-50. You're so young.
Okay.
And you've got longevity with your parents.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know, unless you hate risk.
No, I don't. No, I don't hate it.
I mean, especially because that account, you're probably not going to pull from that account anytime soon. I think that'll be it. Like if I looked at like the time, like when you would tap each account, you're going to pull money out of your retirement account and you're going to let that brokerage account build. And the last account will be the Roth. And that'll be, you know what I mean? Like that'll be the last money that'll be the money that your kids or your daughter or your grandchildren will inherit.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking about too. In terms of it would be nice to be able to leave some legacy. And then the only other concern, obviously, I have is about covering long-term care expenses.
Yeah, but you know what? So somebody's going to try to sell you a long-term care policy.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay. So exactly. I mean, it's different if you're a married couple with this level of assets. Because think about this. If you're a married couple and there's two of you, you're 65 years old, one gets sick, you could drain a lot of money fast from that pre-tax account, right? But it's just you. I think it's highly unlikely that you will be sick for 15 years. Of course, it could happen. Okay, I don't want to say it won't, but you have a lot of assets. And it's because it's just you, you can use your own assets on your own care. And if you needed to go into a facility, you could also sell your house. So I don't think you've got a big problem here. I do think that it's worth thinking about just like, hey, I can't. In other words, I wouldn't give all my money away to my kids right now or my grandchildren. I keep saying kids because I'm putting them all together. So to your daughter or your grandchildren, but I would be clear that that's something that could crop up in the future. But, again, as you said, you got your parents. Let's see how they do. You'll have that experience. I don't think you need any sort of extra product to cover you.
Okay, great.
Good?
Great.
If you have a question, go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here trying to help you get through every single one of these big life decisions that has to do with your money. And so many of those decisions really do touch your money in some way. If you'd like to get in touch with us, go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, just click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live on the air, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to check out all the content that lives there, including you can sign up for the free weekly newsletter, which comes out every Friday. A terrific way to tune up, get yourself prepped for this weekend show. And Mark finds some of the stories that you may have missed during the week. Okay, let's squeeze in an email. This one is from Kristen, and it's a great question. She writes, I would like your guidance on how to discuss changing your long-term relationship with your advisor. One scenario would be keeping your advisor and changing from a percentage of assets under management to a flat fee arrangement. Is this a common transition? It feels awkward after so many years working together. If that's not an option, how do you gracefully leave the relationship? Do I have to move my money to another advisor, or can I keep it where it is without the advisory service? Well, Kristen, I think we have to flip this around a little bit. My question to you is, do you want to maintain this relationship, but only under a certain fee arrangement? This is the critical issue that you're facing. Maybe you're ready to manage your money on your own. Maybe this person is not giving you the advice that you think is in your best interest. Maybe you just are ready for something different. And from your message, I didn't really understand whether you were trying to change the fee arrangement or the advisor was. In any event, I think that if you decide you want to manage this on your own, it's very easy to write a graceful thank you note and say goodbye. You may be able to keep the account where it is. You'll have to check in with the firm that holds those assets to see if you can maintain it yourself or whether you need to move elsewhere. I hope that helps. And for everyone listening, if you've got a question about an existing advisor relationship, get in touch with us. Go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. We do that by getting you to do a tiny bit of work. All you need to do, go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and write us a note. If you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, check out all of the different content that lives there. We've got 2 podcasts. One is called Jill on Money, and we release that Monday through Friday, and the other is called Money Watch, and that's a Saturday and Sunday drop. So 7 days a week. If you'd like us, you can get it right there on our website, jillonmoney.com. You can also subscribe to the free weekly newsletter, which will also get you my blog, which I write, a couple times a week. I put my thoughts down. And then there's also the resources section, some calculators, some fun stuff. So just bookmark jillonmoney.com, and then you can go back whenever you want. Okay, right now, let's get this hour started. We are talking to Mary, who joins us from Southern California. I feel like there's a song there, Mary. Welcome to the program. What can we do for you?
I'm super excited to be here. I tell everyone that you are my friend Jill when I'm talking about all the great things I hear in your program. So
I love that. I thank you
you're
very
like my
much.
best friend.
Oh, I have so many friends. I feel very lucky. One of the reasons that this show is so much fun is that it's this immediate gratification. It's like this moment where I get to hang out with you for I'm sitting in a bar stool, we're talking about your stuff, and then you're like, okay, bye. My husband, my wife's here, bye, and you go. And it's kind of fun for me. So what can we do for you today?
I have been at my company for 30 years. I've been working remotely for 26. My plan, I'm 56. My husband, we have been together a really long time. We just got married last September.
Congratulations.
Thank you. He retired 2 years ago with a pension, which you love. And one of the reasons that kind of helped push in that direction to retire for him was that I could work anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we have kids all over the country/world. So my plan was to retire when I was 62 in about 6 more years. But we found out from my work about a month ago that there is going to be a return to office with mandatory 4 days a week in office. Yep. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I'm at, how much longer, how long I have to suck it up and do it.
Yeah.
I feel like we could swing it. It would be, tight, but we could swing it. But my husband's pension does stop if he were to pass away.
How's his health, if I dare ask such a brutally honest question?
He's very healthy.
How old is he?
60. He'll be 65 at the end of the month.
Okay. So he'll be able to go onto Medicare, right?
Yeah, he's currently on my benefits.
Okay.
Like we waived Medicare just since I'm working right now.
Got it.
But yes.
Okay. Now, you get this notice from the company, which I'm so furious about these companies. I can't even tell you. I'm furious on everybody's behalf because it's such nonsense. You've been doing this fine. I've looked at emails like this, and then a few months later, someone's like, "Oh yeah, but my boss says I'm fine." Like, are we sure this is going to happen for you specifically?
Yeah, we are. And I've kind of gone down a bunch of different roads, and there, even people who are out of state, it's very, it's not being really applied super consistently, but there are people out of state that they're giving, offers to either relocate or pay severance, which is cool that they are paying severance. And even in-state people that are more than like 50 miles away, they're making either come in or,
I hope you're more than 50 miles away, are you?
I'm not.
Oh,
nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get a package.
How much money do you make right now, Mary?
My salary is about $128,000, and then I get a bonus of about 15% on top of that. And over the 30 years I've been at the company, that's pretty consistently paid.
What's your husband's pension look like?
About $66,000 a year, a little more than that gross. And there's a 2% not compounded bump
straight line.
a year.
So annoying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How's your cash flow right now on this $200,000+ for the two of you?
So he also has a golden handshake where he gets about $21,000 a year, and that's paid out through. There's about 3 more years on that, probably till like July of 2028.
Okay.
And then he also is substitute teaching a couple days a week, and probably conservatively about $18,000 a year on that. And he's planning on doing that for, probably 2 to 3 more years. He likes it, gives him something to do.
That's cool. So now you've got like a good chunk of money coming in. What do your expenses look like? About
$10,000 a month, but that's with like on average over the last couple of years, about $1,600 a month in travel.
That's great. That's fun.
Yeah.
You have kids all over the country and world. You said that.
We do.
So do you guys own your own home?
Yes.
What's it worth?
It's worth $1 million-ish. We owe about $333,000 at 2.875.
Any other real estate besides the primary?
No.
Okay.
There is one little thing to mention with the house, though. So if my husband were to pass away first with the house and I sell it, half of the money goes to his kids. Okay. So, yeah.
All right. So you have a half interest. That's fine.
Yep. Exactly.
But they don't have to kick you out. They can't kick you out of your half. Okay. No. That's fine. Okay. Yes. So $10,000 a month. You got all this income. Some of it is going to end, but so far so good. And your husband is like, doing his thing for the next few years, which is great. Now you're going to tell us about all the oodles of money that you guys have saved that will allow you to give the finger to the person who says you have to come in 4 days a week.
Yep.
What do you got?
Okay. So I have my 401k. I have 169 million.
I'm going to call it 170.
My husband has a Fidelity rollover IRA of 354,000.
Great.
He also has another IRA of about 50,000 that I am not the beneficiary on, but RMDs, I'm sure will.
Okay.
And then we have checking savings about 25,000 and CDs about 131,000.
When you said you said, okay, 10 grand a month average, including a bunch of, whatever, $20,000 on travel. You want to keep traveling though, right?
We do.
We're not going to, what you're asking is, how much do I really have to suck this up? For how long? If I have to go in 4 days a week and I want to keep living my life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that we should know about on your looking at your balance sheet? Like money, something you own, something you owe, or any other future income you could receive?
No.
Okay. We'll get back to Mary in just a moment. If you've got a financial question or a decision to make, why not get in touch with us? Don't do this alone. You don't have to. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are here trying to help you make better, less bad, more considered financial decisions. Sometimes people think that we sort of act like mentors or coaches. I'm not sure the right metaphor for you, but what I do want you to know is that we approach this, both Mark and I do, without any judgment. So wherever you are in your life, whether you have a lot of money, a little money, we really don't care. As long as there's some question or issue that you want a second and third opinion on, we would love to help you out. Both Mark and I are certified financial planners. So we love this. This is like what we live for. This is the best part of our week. If you have a question, go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, write us a note. And if you're going to join us on the air, it doesn't have to be that long, but if you think it's just going to be an email and you're a little nervous about coming on the air, give us a bunch of details. That way we can help you out in a more considered way. Right now, let's get back to Mary, who joins us from Southern California. Would you be willing, like your husband, let's say we looking at these numbers, is there a world in which you would be able to create some income after you leave this company?
Yeah, I was thinking that I could perhaps do the substitute teaching as well, probably earn about the same,
Okay, so then we'd have 18 grand and 18 grand in substitute teaching, 66 grand in his pension. I'm not even including the 21,000 for his that extra payment for next 3 years. Just sock that away. Just keep building up your cash, okay? Or put it. Do you have a brokerage account? Do you have any brokerage funds?
We do not.
Okay. So just sock that away in cash. That's fine. So if you could also substitute teach, and we look at this, you're not there yet, but it's pretty close. When does your husband think he's going to claim Social Security, or does he already?
He does not. And that was a question for you. We kind of thought that as long as he's getting that golden handshake through 2028, he could wait.
Yes.
But then we didn't see a ton of difference between looking at the numbers from 67 to 68. So I didn't know if it was worth it.
It's always worth it because you get an automatic 8% increase. So what's his Social Security benefit at 68 or 70, whatever?
At 68, it's 983.
Okay. 983.
And that just really changed because of them eliminating that windfall.
Yeah, the windfall elimination provision being scrapped. So that's good. That's money you didn't think you were going to get. What is your Social Security benefit at your full retirement age, 67?
$35.95.
We have 11 years that we need to be thinking about, right? During those 11 years, I mean, you have socked away a lot of money. So I don't want to sugarcoat like, oh, oh, you're poor or anything. That's not, but you have not, it's not like tons and tons of money. And if you knew that you were going to get that 66 forever, then sure, no biggie.
Yep.
But that's not necessarily the case. And he might be in great health. So if you had to work 4 days a week, I hate to do this to you. How long could you really last? Like how much could you really do this? Or are you just like, there's no way I'm doing it? I want to know what I'm dealing with.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to leave before I try it, but it's causing me so much stress and anxiety and just the upheaval. So I have worked 80% for years and years. So I work 5 short days. It's just that my whole life, like,
yeah, of course. That's like you've lived this for more than like almost 3 decades. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I definitely want to try it. So, my plan had been 62 before all this came up. And so I thought, well, could I suck it up and just do it till I'm 60? And, would the numbers work then? And that's kind of what I'm wondering. It's just like how long I have to suck it up.
Yep.
If I can't do it, how much money I need to make somewhere else.
Yep. So are you maxing out your 401k with a catch-up contribution right now on your 130 or 35,000 that you're making? Are you putting in the maximum to your 401k?
No, I'm putting in 17% to Roth, and then on that bonus, I put 10% to traditional just because it's taxed so heavily. And then I matched 10% all to traditional.
Okay. There's $1.5 million of retirement money that mostly has not been taxed.
Right.
And then you would be continuing to work for, let's say 3 more years. Let's not go crazy. Do you think that at age 60 or 59 and a half, like where would that, so we'd have a few years, the $1.5 million would grow, there'd be new money going in, we'd get to, I don't know, let's 1.8, if presuming we're not in some horrendous, bear market or whatever. And the reality is, you could potentially, this is so weird that I'm even saying this. There is maybe a case like if you could have bought life insurance, to protect.
That's
you,
one
right?
of my questions. Yep.
There is a case to be made that we take your husband's rollover IRA, or we take money from the brokerage account and we think about buying some life insurance. The problem, what do we need life insurance for? The big issue is really in the next 10 years, right? Because if in 10 years he passes away and you don't have that income and yet you're not receiving Social Security yet, that's the question. I don't know how expensive a 10-year term policy would be. It's probably really expensive for a 65-year-old, but it is worth looking into, and maybe even looking into some sort of horrendous policy that is a universal life policy that's a paid up policy for a certain amount of money that would protect some portion of that. Talking this through, and I'm wondering whether it makes sense for you guys. I don't know, maybe think about hiring a financial planner to help you through this period. I really would encourage that for you, because I think there's a lot of wild cards here. And since we don't know how to protect, I don't have all the products knowledge that you would need for that. But I do think you're close. It just seems so arbitrary that they just like, oh yeah, let's go back to work, whatever. And at the same time, could you also find something that is in the same field where you could continue working remote? I don't know. That's maybe something to think about. But I think this is a financial planning kind of problem that could be solved. And, I know I've met some great financial planners in Southern California.
Okay.
So I just was recently there, and I think it would be kind of cool and helpful that if I could give you some folks there. I feel like this is not like you're close, and no, I think there's like you're going to need some security in this, and I think you're going to need a plan. But you are close. That is true. Okay. Okay. So I don't want you to get like all bummed out. I'm not giving you the bum out yet, but you're close. You're close.
Okay.
All right. What else do you need to know from me?
Is there a breaking point to how much to spend on something like that? Like a life insurance type thing?
It would really have to be, you can't have all of the liquidity soaked up from the rest of your money going towards this insurance policy because you have to live on the money. So there's a balancing act. It may not be that you could protect 100% of this pension, but even some part of it. Right.
Okay.
So you're not going to be able to be like, oh, I'm going to have $1 million policy. Boom, done.
Right.
And but even if it were a fraction of that, that would give you a lot more comfort, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I think that, Mary, you are in really good shape. You guys have done a good job. This sort of feels like, oh my God, I can't. It's sort of like when we talk to all those folks who were in federal government and they got like the pink slip and you're like, I was planning to do something very different. I think that for you, you should absolutely talk to a financial planner, a fiduciary, someone who's going to be like a normal person and take care of you. Okay.
Okay.
If you've got something going on, anything at all, and it is remotely associated with a dollar, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and check the box if you want to join us live, because live is a lot of fun. You're listening to Jill on Money.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. Let's talk to Minnie from Pennsylvania. Hello, Minnie. What's going on?
Yeah, so I reached out to you guys because my husband hates his job.
Oh.
And he's hated it for a really, really long time. And I don't want to see him so miserable. And so, one of the things that we have been targeting really since we were in our 20s was being able to retire at 55. But I just don't want him to have to, keep struggling through this career. And if he could get another job making about half of what he makes now, would that still keep us on track for retirement at 55?
Okay.
Which was our goal. So,
and Minnie, do you have kids?
We do. We have 2 kids.
How old are they?
One is 21, so he has one more year left of college. And my other one is also a rising senior. So they're both actually rising seniors, and she's going to be entering college next year.
Okay. So she's what, 18?
She's 17. Yep.
17.
She'll be 18.
Okay.
Yep.
How have you paid for college?
So both of my kids have 529 accounts. They are both going to go to state schools. So their college is covered with what we have in the 529.
That makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, great. How old are you guys?
I am 47 and my husband is 48, but I always say that he's a year and a half older than me. And I always use the year and a half.
Okay, that's good. So he's much older than you.
So much older. Yeah.
Minnie, are you working?
Yes.
How much do you earn?
My base salary is $238, and then I get bonus every year, which is around $50,000.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I also get 45,000 of restricted stock units every year, and 15,000 of those vest every year.
And you let them vest. You sell them, and you take the money and reinvest it.
I've kind of just let them sit.
Oh my. Okay, wait. That's interesting. That could be an interesting pile of money. How much is the hated job that Mickey has? How much does he earn?
He makes 80,000.
Oh, it's tough to hate a job at 80. I feel like we can find something else for him to do. So what we really want to look at is what would happen if he made 40, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's do a couple of other things. You own a home?
Yes.
How much is the house worth?
The house is worth $420,000.
Is there a mortgage outstanding?
No.
Oh, so no mortgage and college is funded. That's good. And
Correct.
You're going to stay in this house, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And any rental property?
Nope.
Okay. Let's talk about the money you've squirreled away. So for his hated job, that $80,000, does he have a retirement account there?
So that'll be one of my questions for you. He bounced around a bit since COVID. He was laid off during COVID, got another job, then that was downsized, got another job. So where he landed right now is a very tiny company, and they do not offer any retirement plans.
Okay, but does he have money from previous plans?
He does, and it is 100,000.
Okay, got it. All right, what about you?
I have 1.04 million.
How about if we just say 1 million? And is that Roth or pre-tax?
It's a 401k. I do contribute 25% of my salary. I've been doing that for a long time. And the company does the automatic, like, mega backdoor Roth IRA thing.
Yeah. So does that million include that mega backdoor?
Correct.
It does.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
so
that's total.
So some of it is Roth and some of it is pre-tax.
Correct.
I got you. Okay. Do you have any old retirement accounts anywhere else?
I do not. I've never worked anywhere else.
You like where you work. Okay.
Yep.
Do you guys have any investments in a brokerage account, for example?
I think I've heard, since I've been listening to you, the word brokerage account enough. I did just open one, but just opened about a month ago. So.
And where did you do that?
Through Fidelity, because that's where my retirement stuff is.
Did you put any money in there yet?
A couple $100,
okay, just to open. Great.
Yeah, just to open. We have a CD that has 100,000, and we have cash that's 100,000.
Great.
And then those stocks that I was telling you about.
Now, RSUs. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
So restricted stock units. Okay, everyone listening, you get a restricted stock unit. It's given to you as like a chunk. Like, here is a restricted unit, and then a certain amount vests over time. And so some amount over time every year, as you said, it was 15 grand a year that vests. So now you have unvested and vested RSUs. What I'm interested in is what is the vested RSU value, because that's what we know we could get our hands on quickly.
140,000.
Okay, got it. I'm not asking you the name of the company for public, but is it a good company? Do you feel comfortable about this company, that you're the only company you've worked at for your whole life?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So this is what we have. We've got the husband hates his job, making 80, wants to make 40. Minnie likes her job. She makes, let's call it 290 with bonus. I'm not including the RSUs, 290. And you make a big contribution, a 25% contribution into retirement. Now, here's your big question, I guess, and that is, if you don't count the money that you're saving, if we just look at how much money you spend, do you know that number?
Yes, it's 10,000 a month.
Okay.
I believe that will go down.
So you say.
As my children launch. But for now, that is the number.
Okay. If we look at what your future income will be, let's call it $330,000. Your question is, hey, Jill, can we do this? $10,000 a month out of $330,000? The answer is yes. The question is, can you continue to save as much as you are saving and stay on track for your retirement goal? And I think that it's not like a slam dunk. And I'm going to tell you why. Because 55 is coming up. I'm wondering whether you would be able to work longer, especially him, if you knew he liked his job. Like, could you stay on track a little bit longer? How do you think that would land with each of you? Because you said 55, probably because he's hated his job for a while.
Well, it's also me. I don't hate it, but I would like to just be done at 55 if I can.
But then what?
I don't know. We have visions of traveling, or I'd probably work part-time at a bakery. I've always wanted to do that. Just, not what we're doing. It's a bit of a grind.
That sounds freaking hellish,
yeah.
But okay. Whatever. We'll get back to Minnie in just a minute.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back to Jill on Money. Let's get back to Minnie from Pennsylvania.
I do have a pension.
Oh, hold on a second. I want to hear
Okay.
about that. Pension. Tell us about the pension.
So my company does offer a pension, and I did model that based on 3 different ages.
Mm-hmm.
So at 55, I
Yeah.
have 2 options, one which is a lump sum, and
No.
one and one is the 100% survivor
Yeah,
rate.
how much is
So
that?
those are the 2. That is $4,284.
Okay, so you retire at your age 55. That pension is payable at 55, or do you have to delay it? Do you have to wait to take it?
Nope, payable at 55.
Okay, that's a huge difference. Okay, what's the next tier that you have for me?
So then I just went to 58,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes to 5,188.
So here's what I got for you. Back of the envelope math. That pension's the game changer. Okay.
Okay.
Here's why. I took your 290. I said, okay, let's presume that you're socking away the money you continue putting money away for the 401k and the backdoor, which is essentially like $72,000. It's a lot of money that's coming out of your salary. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can keep maxing out what you're doing. And I think you'll be able to have your $10,000 a month of spend. It's not going to be like you have tons of extra money. You're just not.
Okay.
It's going to be okay. Like you'll make the 10. You may not be able to, you can't be doing 15. Like if 10 turns into 15, there's a problem. But
Okay.
you're fine at 10. 10, we can make this work. I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if we work, you're 47, and
Mhm.
so you guys work until age 55. Hey, Mark, if she's got $1 million in the 401k and presume another 70 goes in every year, some of it is Roth, some of it is not. But can you give me a basic future value of that 401k, which is both Roth and pre-tax in 7 years?
I will say Fidelity does a little graph for me, and
Yeah.
they said in a below average market, it is 2.5.
Yeah. All right. So let's say I'll take 2.5 because that's like the money you're putting in and they're giving some growth rate. Let's downgrade the growth a little bit just because we want to make sure you feel comfortable. So
Yep.
let's say it's 2.3 in 7 years. Okay.
Yep.
That money that you have at age 55, and presumably what I hope can happen is that at your age 55, leaving the firm that you're working at, that you would be able to invoke the rule of 55.
I can. I checked.
Perfect. I love you. Okay. So now we know that you can start at age 55 taking the pre-tax portion of that 2.3 million. And when we look at it, do you think most of the million right now, is that mostly in pre-tax right now?
Yes.
Okay. So that's fine. From age 55 until you collect Social Security, 67 or 70, you would look at the pre-tax number and you would pull money out. We have your income of pension, your pension income that if we did use that 55, 4,200, we have to get to 10,000. Again, these are all going to have to be inflated. You use your pre-tax money, you pull it out, that gets you there. Then when you claim Social Security, you and your husband claim Social Security at either 67 or 70, the money that you guys will have together, plus your pension and the money that you have in the 401k should get you where you want to go. It would be a slam dunk if markets are performing really beautifully. So if this is 10 years ago and you're today, you're like, oh, you remember we said 2.3, it's 3.3. I don't know what's going to happen for the next 10 years. I don't.
Right.
So I think you're on track to do it. Does the number work so much better with those extra 3 years? Yeah. I mean, it's almost $1,000 a month. But let's say you don't want to do it. Okay. So now we're back at 55. So the other thing I think is important to do would be to sell your vested RSUs and pop it into your Fidelity brokerage account. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're going to take you have to pay tax on it. If they ask, do you want us to withhold taxes? Say yes.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now you're going to take that money and you're going to put it into your just opened Fidelity account. So now instead of having $200, you're going to have $140,200. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be a supplemental way that you can have money grow for you. I'm not saying your company isn't great. I'm just saying you're accumulating RSUs all the time. Let's take some money off the table. Let's diversify it and let's get another engine of growth for your future age 55 retirement. Okay. Don't have to do anything with the savings, the CD and the cash. It probably makes you feel comfortable. If you open that, since you've opened that Fidelity brokerage account and you have your 401k, tell me, how are you investing your 401k right now? Do you have some sort of combination of a stock index and a bond index? What do you have?
It is mostly stock, and that is one thing I probably should
Dude,
adjust.
pushing the pedal to the metal.
I know.
I would say that because also we're talking to you, stocks have been quite on a roller coaster this year.
Right.
I don't know where they're going to be, but I think it would be a shame to go through a real loss. Like if we saw, it is highly likely in the next 7 years that you will have a 20% loss in stocks at some point. Okay. It would suck if that happened as you were turning age 55. You will freak out. It's different absorbing loss when you know you're close to needing your money. So I would suggest that you would have less risk in the account that I knew I was tapping first. So in your 401k that has not yet been taxed, I might be like 70-30, 70 stocks, 30. Okay. And in the Roth one, you can go crazy. You're not touching that for a while. And in the brokerage account, I would probably also probably do like more like 70-30.
I did do that for that one.
Great. So that's what I think, and I think it works. How do you feel about this? Aren't you going to be happy to say to Mickey, you can get new gloves and go get a new job? What do you think? How are you feeling?
He will be thrilled. Yeah.
You're listening to the Jill on Money Show. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here trying to work through whatever financial issues are on your mind. And sometimes you have these big life changes. You're buying a house, you're selling a house. You're getting married, you're getting divorced. Maybe someone passed away or got a bad diagnosis. Maybe you're pregnant. All of these big milestones in your life, they will somehow impact your finances as well. And we would love to help you figure out the best path forward for you. And it's all about you. So even though you like listening, I know we're all voyeurs. If you would like something specific to you, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, which is in the upper right-hand corner, and we would be delighted to have that email on the show, or check the box if you'd like to join us live. While you're on the website, check out our subscription service. It's called Jill on Money Live. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars, the back catalog of those webinars, and bonus audio and video content, all for $45 for the next 12 months. Okay, let's squeeze in one more question before we conclude the program. This is from Lorraine, who writes, I'm in the process of doing our estate plan, and I am having a hard time choosing an actual lawyer. Can I instead do it online? Well, sure. I guess if you have an uncomplicated life and there are no weird things that have to be addressed in the estate planning process, I'd rather you do it online than not do it at all. But I still prefer, because this is so important and because it is a legal document, that you could somehow find an estate attorney who can guide you through it. Again, if the choice is nothing versus online, sure, I'm going online. If you are listening and you have not done your estate planning yet, you know you have to. But I would also check some of my workplace benefits. A lot of companies are now offering that as a pre-tax way to pay for an estate plan, which is a great benefit. Okay, that's it. That is the program. Remember, everything that we do can be found on our website, JillOnMoney.com. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer, and he's the king of all things web. We ask that you do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.